Do y'all know how excited I am for this video? Um, this is my first, this is my first WWE reaction video of any kind. I'm really trying to think, and I really, I would have to go back and kind of do a quick search on my channel to see what I reacted to, but I vividly, I do not remember ever reacting to anything WWE related. So just a quick summary. I grew up on WWE wrestling. I would say my real years of fandom was from 2001 to 2013. That was like my last year of like keeping up with it. And even by then I wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta get home so I could watch wrestling. Like that was gone probably by 2011. But I used to keep up with it every now and then. And sometimes I still do, like now I know damn near everything that I grew up on is just about gone. I know Rey Mysterio's left, Randy Orton's left. I know John Cena. He's kind of, since he's really been getting in the film, he's kind of been in and out. But I know he's kind of like coming towards the end. I know the Undertaker officially retired last year or the year before. I am aware about the ACW or AWE. I forgot the competitive wrestling company that's on TBS. I think it's TBS. But that got CM Punk. I'm aware of CM Punk and everything that's going on over there. I know over there they have Chris Jericho. I think I saw Sabu, and a few other people. But anyway, man. So while I wasn't born to see the Attitude Era, I had an older brother who put me on to wrestling. And I quickly became a big fan of the Attitude Era, and I had a bunch of DVDs and tapes of old WWE pay-per-views. And of course, by the time YouTube got into the picture, I would go back and watch old videos of that. And so you got Mankind, Taker, Kurt Angle, Jericho, Benoit. Hey, whatever side of the fence you land on, that it is what it is. Triple H, Shawn Michaels. I guess Bret Hart is considered Attitude Era. Of course, Stone Cold, The Rock, DX, Gangrel, Big Sexy, aka Mark Henry. Man, growing up, man, wrestling was just great. So anyway, today's video is Undertaker and Mick Foley relive their infamous Hell in a Cell match. Now, I've seen this match. You know what's so funny? It's not a great match. It's like, because of what happens in it, it's so historical and memorable. But nothing really happens. Like, outside of the 3 events that I won't spoil if you're witnessing this for the first time. A couple of chair. I remember a chair being involved. I think Mankind used the chair a couple of times. In the finish with the tombstone, I really don't remember much else from this match. Like, it wasn't like it was a great back and forth, And Mankind and Taker have great matches. So from like a pure wrestling point of perspective, this is probably at the bottom of their great matches. But of course, in regards to significance and everything that happened, it's a big match. But anyway, I'm very excited to hear what they have to say about this match because, again, it's one of the greatest matches of all time. And it really is one of those matches that propelled the WWE over the WCW in the Monday Night Wars. It was just such a significant match. And so I'm really excited to see this, learn from this, and hear from the two greats themselves. So let's not waste no more time, man. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Honestly, I did not expect him to get up from that. He hit and finally he started moving around. And I was like, man, that's one tough son of a gun right there.
Well, my feud with The Undertaker had actually ended a while earlier. I thought we were entering a match cold. I thought my character had been through a lot and people had lost interest in it. After watching the first ever cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, I realized I was in a terrible predicament to even try to approach the level that they had reached was going to be very difficult. And I just didn't see how it would be possible without something special.
I can guarantee that mankind will have a surprise for everyone that you will not soon forget.
If we can do something special, if we can start a match in a way that no one ever has, maybe we can fool people into thinking we're having a great match, even if we're not.
I'm not sure exactly what had happened, but Undertaker broke his foot. And we weren't sure, how, that was going to play out. Yeah, I did happen to have a fracture in my ankle. It was such an important time in the business. You knew you had to do it. So, you just grit your teeth and go in there and do what you do.
That compounded the troubles that we were we were facing. Yeah, The Undertaker and I reminisced about that a couple of years ago. Like, what were we even doing in that situation? And yet he willingly entered it with a broken foot, which speaks volumes as to what type of competitor he is.
Oh my, look out! The Undertaker is here, and he's walking with purpose. Oh, this is going to be bad.
I don't remember the build-up to that day other than being approached by Mr. McMahon and him asking me if I had been up on top of that structure earlier in the afternoon. And I assured him I had, which was the biggest lie I'd told up to that point in my life. And then he asked me if I was comfortable up there, and I assured him I was, which became the newest, biggest lie I'd ever told in my life, because if I had ever gone up on top of that structure in the afternoon, I wouldn't have been scaling it that evening because it was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I know there are people in the WWE Universe, superstars, who are not afraid of heights. I'm not one of them.
The Igloo is red hot.
So wait, before we even get into the match, just a real quick recap. In the 3 minutes that Taker has a broken foot, essentially, which is insanity. To even do any type of physical activity on anything broken in your body is nuts. That's one. Two, you got a guy that's scared of heights in a Hell in a Cell match. Three, I'm really surprised to hear Mick say that he thought the Mankind character was... I thought Mankind was always kind of popular. Like, it was always kind of over with the crowd. For those who were actually there and fans in 98, y'all let me know. Did y'all think Mankind was like a dying character? Of course, he eventually changed it multiple times, but his character, I mean. But just out of curiosity. But this is nuts. So, a broken ankle. He lied about being on the top of the cell. He's scared of heights. I mean, this just has disaster written all over it, but okay.
It's sold out. Welcome everybody to the 6th annual
The reaction, even with a normally hot crowd, was a little bit lukewarm until we got up on top of the cell.
What's he doing? Well, he's trying to get up to the top of the cage. Well, I'd see that, but for what? He's not very logical. I mean, he needs therapy.
To be completely honest, it's like, crap. Am I going to be able to get up there? You know, the answer was yes, because I don't know how. I mean, I would have got up there. I don't care how, but I would have got up there. It was definitely an exciting way to start off a Hell in a Cell match, to start out on top.
There are moments when our feet are actually sinking into the mesh. It's like we're tearing holes in the mesh as we walk, which should have been a harbinger for even worse things to come.
They're destroying the Hell in the Cell. And my God, don't get them over here where we are.
I still remember clearly the distinct sound of the wire coming unwound or breaking from the pressure of our weight. Well, funny enough, I felt safer on the edge or the poling of the cage.
And I just remember getting a couple of really quality chair shots to the back. I think Jerry Lawler said,
Puts goosebumps on my back there. It makes the hair on my neck stand up. I like it.
and the next thing I know, I was in flight.
Everything you heard me say was spontaneous and real. So that call has a pulse.
I cannot believe. It's over. That cage is 16 feet high.
When I tossed him off of there, and you know, as I was watching him fall, and it seemed like it took forever for him to hit the table. It was like only thing I could liken it to is an outer body experience. It was so crazy, and it was so loud in there with the people. At that point, nothing like that had ever been done.
Believe me, I was almost having a heart attack. Watch what was going on. And I got to Mick. I'm asking him, are you okay? Are you okay? And he gave me the sign there that, yeah, I can continue, which flabbergasted me.
He said something kind of quietly, and then I heard him say it again, my shoulder. So I called for a stretcher, and in order for the stretcher to get there, we had to lift the Hell in the Cell up. So with the Undertaker still on the top of the Hell in the Cell, it started moving upward.
Why is the cage raising? Do they realize the Undertaker is still on top of the cage? They're raising the cage with the Undertaker still on top. What?
I'm gonna rewind it because maybe but I always thought that. I was like, why did they raise the cage up again? I thought it was because the cell was so wide that, you know, like the perimeter around the ring was blocked off, and so the stretcher didn't have enough room. Maybe that's what he said. I'm gonna rewind it just a bit. But I was like, yo, why did y'all just leave? Like, and again, when I was a child, I thought it was on purpose. I thought it was just part of the allure of the Undertaker. Like, oh, look at the Undertaker up at the top. But they're saying that because the way Vince looked in that picture, it looked like he was saying, yo, y'all know Taker's still up there, right? But maybe I missed it. Let me hear it again.
To get there, we had to lift the Hell in the Cell quietly, and then I heard him say it again, my shoulder. So I called for a stretcher, and in order for the stretcher to get there, we had to lift the Hell in the Cell up. So with the Undertaker still on the top of the Hell in the Cell, it started moving upward.
Why is the cage raising? Do they realize the Undertaker is still on top of the cage? They're raising the cage with the Undertaker still on top. What?
Obviously, I know they raised the cage, but I was kind of oblivious to it, really. I was so zoned in what we were doing at that point. You know, I'm kind of up there without any kind of communication with anything or anybody. I was just like, well, I guess I'm not going anywhere until they, until they bring me down.
We got Nick about halfway back. He started saying, "No, I want to go back. I want to go back." I said, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're going back. You're going to the hospital." And the next thing I know, Nick jumps up. He started climbing up to Hell in a Cell again. He started going up to the top.
And look at him. You're kidding me. In the hell is he standing? Oh my God! And notice he's got a smile on his face. For God's sakes! Are you kidding me? He wants to go back up. Mankind is going back up. No way! And so is the Undertaker. No way! How can he climb? How can his body? Oh my God! The Undertaker's got the chair. This is absolutely amazing.
Everybody in the building thought the match was over. I didn't know for sure if I could, but I said I was going to give it my best try. But by the time I got to the top of the cell, I was just about out of energy. So I look back and I wish that I'd had the strength and the energy to exchange with the Undertaker, but I'm thankful that I didn't in retrospect, because if I'd had the strength to exchange, I also would have had the strength to get off the cell for the chokeslam.
I don't think I understand. And maybe Mick will talk about it. Do y'all see how he lands? He almost paralyzes himself. He almost lands on the top of his head. If you really look at this fall, maybe they'll talk about it. But that fall was, I think this one is a million times worse than the first one. Even though this one is quote unquote safer because it wasn't that big of a drop, the way Mick falls, he almost falls on top of his head. Look at this fall. Maybe they'll talk about it.
Well, somebody stop the damn match! Enough's enough! The poor son of a... He's broken in half! And the Undertaker likes it! But I think enough is enough.
Knowing what we know and knowing that structure gave way, I believe that if I'd gone up in a way that I usually did for chokeslams, that would afford me the safest landing on a mat inside a ring, that I would have over-rotated and landed high on my shoulders and likely never wrestled again.
I totally agree with that. We're talking a matter of a couple of inches, even the way he landed.
Yes.
I mean, that could have been catastrophic. I mean, it really could have. But I stepped off of the panel and onto the support bars. If I hadn't have done that, we'd have both gone through that together. So if you could imagine, if I had stayed on that panel, my weight would have probably been on him too. And then what happened? It's a scary thought.
Right.
It just was an incredible thud, and it just made you sick to see it. And we could see something, in his nose.
I remember punching him, trying to talk some sense into him, but also being just distracted by this huge, what I thought was a booger in his nose. Come to find out that it was one of his incisors that it went through his lip and ended up in his nose.
And I had the presence of mind to think that if I could just find a way to stick my tongue through that massive wound and wriggle it, that it would create a compelling image. I knew I was going to be okay.
Oh my! And he's smiling. He is smiling.
Mick had basically just had two really bad car accidents and still had the fortitude to get back to his feet and say, we're going to finish this. I mean, that's just another cut of human being right there.
You know what? I'm panicking. I really am. I don't know if I should just say the match is over, and then he grabs me and he goes, "Where are the tacks?"
Oh, God. What is that? Thumbtacks. Thumbtacks. My God.
Real quick, y'all let me know. Do y'all think the thumbtacks were needed? I really don't. I think, again, while it wasn't a great match, just the moments and how historical it was, I think the match was done. Maybe a couple of chair shots, whatever. I completely forgot about the part inside the cage during the match. I didn't know Taker used the steps and all of that. I completely forgot that part. Maybe I need to watch that match again. But I do remember the thumbtacks. And I always think, as I got older and I watched the match, I was like, I don't even think this was necessary. I really don't. Y'all let me know how y'all... But I really don't think the thumbtacks were warranted. But I love how Taker phrased that. I mean, Mick basically was in 2 car accidents, back to back, within a matter of 15 minutes apart from each other, and is still on his feet. Mick Foley is God, man, for real.
You know, just the glittery, the shininess of the tacks. And I guess in retrospect, we needed something like that, and seemed like a suitable way to end that match.
The tacks were probably the easiest part of the night. It was definitely icing on the cake for him. He ended up in a bed of tacks, so it was a rough night for Mick Foley.
And even as Timmy White was counting 3, that I believe the right foot was just kicking ever so gently to show, like, I'm not completely out of this ball game yet. Mike Chioda, who was not the referee of record, but he came out and told me they were bringing a stretcher out for me. And he said, and you can look on the video, and you can see I lift my arm. And the reason I lift my arm is I didn't want anyone in Pittsburgh to see me talking. And what I said to him was, have I already been on a stretcher tonight? And when he informed me that I had, that right arm went up about 3 seconds after that for a second time. And I said, I can't be on 2 stretchers in one night. And I hobbled my way to Mr. McMahon's room.
We took him back and put him on a table. He went to let me know that his shoulder was hurt, but he smiled at me, and I could see, that he had a gash under his lip. They started stitching him up right there. Just an incredible sight to see.
Mr. McMahon sat me down, and I remember those words specifically. He said, "You have no idea how much I appreciate what you've done for this company, but I never want to see anything like that again."
Sure, Vince.
It's everlasting. It's in our minds forever. And it's like any other great event in wrestling or mainstream sports. It's that play that defined the game.
I couldn't ask for a better human being to do that with than Mick. These are things that, like I said, that I haven't really talked about. There's probably only a handful of people that I would, open myself up like that to, he being one of them. It's really special to be considered such an iconic match and one that people really, have all these really fond memories of. That just lets us know we did something right.
It was the reactions to the unexpected, and I think that element of surprise, it embeds it in people's minds so that anyone who was there in the venue or watching live when it happened will never forget that moment. This moment or series of moments has left this indelible imprint on people's memories. We're somehow able to create an image in people's minds that lives on and will outlive me and The Undertaker both.
I didn't know Hell in a Cell wasn't. So that's a pay-per-view now? See, that's how far out I'm. No, you know what? I do remember it being a pay-per-view. Because they did. I remember one year they had. Wasn't it a year where they had like all red cages? I feel like it was like 20. It might have been 2013. That might have been when I stopped watching. But I do remember Hell in a Cell being a pay-per-view. I do. Man. So basically what they said was damn near half of the stuff that they did was unscripted. And there was a bunch of lying, and I mean the fact that Mick said, I didn't know Mick Foley was scared of heights. I mean, if you know anything about Mick Foley, or if you've watched him throughout his career, I mean, it's not too many extreme things that Mick Foley hasn't done. I mean, thumbtacks, fire, heights, barbed wire. I mean, like, Mick Foley is nuts. Okay? I mean, so the fact that he's scared of heights, that's just incredible. I did not know Taker had a broken foot, which he definitely needs his flowers for what he did, because I mean, just climbing a 16, I think they said 16-foot stature with a broken foot is like, that's like impossible. That tooth part, I'm not gonna front, that was sick. I did not know that's what that was. I did not know that was his tooth. I don't think I ever really noticed that, actually, now that I think about it. And so now that I saw it and, know what it was, insanity. And the commentary for that match, it wasn't the best from JR and King, but I will say JR's call, my God, they killed him. That is one of my favorite JR calls. So just everything about this match, while it, like, nothing in it is like my favorite moment in WWE history, it's in my conversations of some of my favorite moments. And it's just incredible. It really, really is. And it proves why, out of all the people who kind of left WWE, came back, and even though Mick did, I forgot when Mick Foley left. But I know when he got back, he never really left again. Why him and Taker are like, I haven't known them to do any other promotion. Of course, again, Mick Foley, I know he did for a minute. Was Mick Foley on TNA? I'm trying to think. Are they on TNA? Was he on TNA? And I think he was on ECW. I'm probably, again, I'm a big wrestling fan, but I'm not like a historian or anything like that. But yeah, man, I learned a lot. I was happy to see this match. I'm happy to just see wrestling. The wrestling I grew up on, man, you just can't top it. And I'm not saying that because I know everybody says that about their respective era. But, I mean, I just grew up when it was just so much fun. I think So I grew up with ruthless aggression, right? So ruthless aggression is basically child's play to the Attitude Era. So it had elements of the Attitude Era, you know, certain jokes, bikini matches, you know, certain words weren't, you know, of course by that point, you know, cuss words and stuff like that wasn't like that prevalent, but you get a cuss word off every now and then. Certain, you know, storylines was a bit, you know, of course you got the infamous Vince McMahon blowing up in the limo, acting like he died, the Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, I'm your father. Like it was a lot of crazy stuff in the ruthless aggression. And it was just so much fun, man. It was just so much fun, and I genuinely enjoyed it. But of course, the Attitude Era takes the cake. I mean, between the matches, again, I don't think this is a great match in the Attitude Era. That's how great the matches in the Attitude Era was, because out of though this might be one of the more historical matches, it's not one of the best, because there was just so many great matches. Like, so, you know, yeah, man, this was great. Again, between learning everything that led up to the fight, things that happened during and after, and the fact that Vince said, I don't ever want to see that happen again. And I mean, how many people jump from the cell now? How many people, I mean, of course you got Mick versus Triple H, 2 years removed from this match? Like, you know, so Vince is hilarious. But yeah, man, I'm officially on my WWE thing, man, and I would be so excited if y'all requested and recommended some more. I definitely, again, I grew up on it. I would love to get caught up on what's happening now. Last time I checked, Brock Lesnar, I think he's on his final run, but he's still active. I know Roman Reigns, who was a nobody when I was watching him, but I've heard he's like the guy now. He's bigger than CM Punk, so they say. You know, during CM Punk's reign, or John Cena or something like that. So that's what I heard. I don't know. I know the Usos, his actual cousins, are big. Like I said, Randy Orton's still going strong. Mysterio's still active. I heard his son is actually fighting, which is crazy that I just referenced that old storyline, because like now that he's grown and he's in the business now, that's hilarious. But yeah, man, I wouldn't mind catching up on the new stuff, and I definitely don't mind reminiscing on the old stuff. So yeah, man, y'all let me know what I should check out from the WWE, man. I'm definitely excited about, you know, implementing this into the channel. So y'all let me know and I'm on it. But as always, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time.